Hi Stampin' friends, tonight we're going to use the Detailed Dogwood SaleABration stamp set. It is a choice with a $100 purchase. Of course, that's January through the end of February. I do really like this stamp set. It has some things that I may not use, like how many times am I going to use some of these that you have to keep perfectly straight and stuff like that. But I do like the way that we're able to use these to create like a really soft, easy card front. First thing I wanted to show you was a card that I made where I cut it out by hand. I used Lost Lagoon, Pecan Pie, and Bubble Bath, and then I just added little bits of embellishments and then Wink of Stella. And I do like this. This is with the perennial postage stamp set and dies. And I know you will get through this. That's a perfect and encouraging type little sentiment. So just thinking about that, you could cut it out. You could also just leave it on your background, which I could have done in this instance as well. Just, you know, left it and put it on this same color scheme. Then I had some other ideas I wanted to kind of show you as well. This one I was thinking would be really pretty with maybe a bright pink, or because I used the soft sky, listen to me, the pool party background here to kind of make it pop. Typically I go with so much soft color, and I wanted to kind of bring out some bright color in this one. So with this, I used the Parakeet Party, which is about to start retiring. So if you don't have re-inkers and things for that one, you'll want to go ahead and get those. Then around this, I used both Cherry Cobbler and I used our Blackberry Bliss to give it the color. Typically, dogwoods are white, and then it has a green center, or sometimes as they get older, they get a brown center. So that's kind of an option as well. And then these red points, and that's why a lot of times it's shown at Easter, you know, as if the head and the feet and the hands like that of Jesus. So, you know, if you need cards for Easter, sometimes this is one that I would, this colorway with the points in the deeper pink or red might be one that you would use for that. And I just kind of liked putting a background on here. Now, I would probably just stamp Happy Easter down here, but you could do it a number of different ways there. And I would probably use the pool party ribbon. I might put something else under this, and I would probably use the pool party ribbon to make a bow or just a strip across wow, I had trouble getting it there. Just a strip across, maybe across the bottom, across the middle, somewhere here. And then maybe put my sentiment on top of that. That's just my opinion. Okay, so that's another possibility. I kind of wanted to show if you used, this is the bird paper, the Flight and Airy paper. And so it is a gorgeous paper as well, and a different SaleABration choice. But the back side of it is actually lovely. And so I thought it would be nice to show you putting like a monochrome type card on this with the Bubble Bath. To me, this paper is Bubble Bath and Fresh Freesia. So that just kind of shows you another possibility. Now, the ones that I showed you earlier where I had done this with my markers, you can also just huff on it again and use the markers again and get a lot lighter sort of a look. So maybe with that, you might use it like this, and it actually looks a little more like white, but you know, then I would probably color this. I just kind of wanted to show you that possibility. Then I have a few more like this, and then I'm going to get to some coloring and some stamping with this. Just a real quick show for you tonight. So this is it in the petal pink, and then it is layered on, again with the perennial postage dies, layered on the soft seafoam, and then again on the petal pink. This, I think, is a really pretty color scheme. And you could maybe go back in and only add some color, some light colors with our blends. So let's see here if I were to color this, if we would care for it or not. We may not. That's coloring those leaves. And then, of course, I wouldn't color my flowers here hardly at all. I would just color the centers into a green. Try to do this quickly so you can kind of imagine how it would look. Put a little green here and a little green here on the bud. Right across there on that. Trying to figure out which leaves would be the most impactful for me to color here for you to see. Oh, I'm sorry, I should tell you, I'm using the light soft seafoam blend. What I liked about using the petal pink is that I think it kind of looks like a little bit of a brown of an undertone, and it just kind of it fades away a little bit on the leaves. So there's that. And then go across there. Then looking for my petal pink, here it is. Then maybe just do the edges here. Now I think that's going to need a little bit of either our light or dark crumb cake or something like that. Let me try the crumb cake here on top of here. Yeah, that's plenty dark. And so there you can see how that'll look. I think that'll give you an idea of how that's going to look when I get finished. One thing I have noticed this spring catalog, I'm having a lot of trouble finding exactly the sentiment I want to use. So I pulled out this happy birthday that we actually have from the waves and seashore kind of set, just with the, you know, the big wave and all that. And it just really has a lot of uses. It's a tiny happy birthday, and it fits perfectly in this little die cut. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and use my pecan pie just so I can read it really well rather than the crumb cake, and do my best to pop it right in the middle of that. Oh, it didn't quite get in the middle, but you can kind of imagine there your happy birthday like that, and maybe just a little bit more embellishments, and you'd be finished with that one. Sorry. This one I kind of did as a monochrome again with my thing, and I wanted to show you this. I don't know if I caught an edge of this or if I caught something else. So one way to be sure what exactly happened to you is to first go over the spot. Okay, and that lets you know I got it off. So it was a little bit of some kind of gummy adhesive I got on there. And so, but what I would do next, let's say it was still there. These little mono sand erasers, I got it on, wasn't very expensive. I got it on Amazon. I wish we sold these, but I guess they probably have too small of a price point, much like the adhesive eraser. I would just take this and go over it then next. And that way I could save this without having to add an embellishment. Now, no problem with, I'm sure we could come up with a pretty little ribbon to put right there. But just if you have some kind of blemish on your card, that's the order that I go in when I'm trying to decide how to fix my problem. I do also like these, the other dies that we have right now that are just the little scallops. I think they're very soft and pretty, and maybe even more delicate than the others. Of course, this one, I think I would just continue the monochrome with this one. All right, this is what I'm going to use in a second when I stamp. This one, I was just going to show you how layered on here looks really pretty with my bubble bath and my white, just soft and sweet. Okay, I'm going to pop that over there. And then what I wanted to do now was just kind of do a little bit of marker to stamp, because that is how I did my work on this. I did marker to stamp on my, my main card, the first card I showed you here. I did marker to stamp. So I'm gonna do it pretty similar this time. So if you get bored, I will understand. You do not have to watch everything I do, but I'm just gonna go down here and go over each part of this with either, I'm being very careful of the tip of this marker. This is the pecan pie, so it is kind of brand new, and so I don't wanna ruin it, but SaleABration is a great time for me to get another pack of the new core colors of the markers and get a little something for it. So I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and use these. We may even use this for my local class because that way I don't have to worry that I've ruined it, and you know, I don't really have a plan because I like to have 2 sets of markers, and it would be great for me to just go ahead and get that taken care of. Okay, so now I'm going to use the old standard Old Olive on my petals. First time, remember, I had used Lost Lagoon, but I'm just going over it. I'm not, so it may have a little bit of, maybe a little different than Old Olive, but I just kind of think whatever I do with this is going to be pretty. And I think this makes great spring birthday cards. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. And I got behind, you guys. I did not get my January birthday cards out. And if you do not get birthday cards from me yet, you need to just either post it on here, whatever you want to do, and of course, just the month and the day, not the year. And I will try to add you to my list. But I did not get those done for January. So I'm like, well, you know, I'm just going to send them when I have them and put a belated kind of a sentiment on there. And because, you know, it's not that I wasn't thinking, it was that I just didn't get my stuff done. And it happens to all of us. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some green in the center, a little green on the top there and bottom, green in the center of this, and in the center of that one. And then right across there, if I can see it. I think I got it there. In the center there. And now I'm just using my petal pink to add color. Not sure I'm getting it quite dark enough on there, but I can always redo. Just getting plenty if I can there. And I'm going in the direction of the pieces that are taken out of the stamp. I don't know if that makes sense. The direction of the mold, I guess you'd say. And I feel like a lot of times going with that direction saves your marker. If you go back and forth this way, that's probably not the nicest and kindest way to treat your markers. Or my markers if you're over here at my house for class, whichever. So I'm just doing this, and then I am going to go in and try to add a little bit of color on these points that we're talking about. They're not really points, they're kind of depressions at the end of each of the petals. And I will huff on this, don't worry. Just kind of trying to put a little more color. Then I'm going to grab my cherry cobbler. Oh, not that end. And try to add it on the ends of these. You could also add the cherry cobbler and then go back in with a little bit of brown, or in this case, maybe the pumpkin pie, just to deepen it a little bit. The problem that I had with when I was coloring in with a blender pen and the cherry cobbler on that one, it got a little pink, but I don't really think this will. I think it'll be fine. So I'm just putting that there. Then these guys. I think there's only about 3 on this one that you can actually see. So I may have done too much on that one. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put my breath on it. There we are, just to kind of get it neatly on there. Then, whoops, one more time, and hope for the best. I'm gonna press it each direction so that I be sure and have it completely pressed down. Okay. There you can see it. I just it doesn't look white, but it kind of has the kind of a general whatever of whiteness. Now you'll notice right here, I didn't quite get my lines in. One thing that's good about these old markers, I would never get rid of mine if I were you, even if I got the new set. And I would just use these to, you can fill that in pretty easily on this when you do marker to stamp. And it's a little bit easier to use this one than it is to use the new kind, because the tip is pretty big, pretty good size. So just a little tip on that. I would just go ahead and do that. I mean, you know, whichever. All right, so that's that one. And I was kind of imagining putting it on a piece of pecan pie and a piece of old olive. Now, one thing that might help this to show a little better is to do what I did on the one card, where I put around it, putting the pool party, because that might make it pop more and look whiter. I kind of feel like that's a thing. So there I would probably, again, just pop on my happy birthday, or maybe, you know, maybe a different happy birthday, but, you know, pop on a happy birthday and add some embellishments. Okay, this one is stamped again in Memento Tuxedo Black. And let's see here. I was imagining with this one, just kind of using my blends in the same way. And I think all I kind of wanted to show you about this one as a difference was just using some of the lighter colors. So not lighter here. I'm using the pecan pie over the black, just to give it a brown cast. And there. Figure out any other places I think it needs brown. There and there. And right there. And now I'm just grabbing the dark soft seafoam. Again, like I had used when I did when I colored on the petal pink one. Just coloring in those leaves. Okay, now what I'm just trying to show you here is using the dark seafoam with the parakeet party. It's going to go right down the middle there. What I think it does is give a little bit of more color that makes it, without being as bright as the other one was, it makes it look like a springier green. Still pale, but then a little bit springier. So I think certainly I don't know how to say, the lemon lime twist is a little too lemony. And then to me, the Granny Apple Green is a darker color as well. But when you combine it with this super light, almost invisible green, I think it makes it kind of the perfect color combination to just be a light, light spring green. I may want to add a little more of this here. And then go back over it just a bit. I'll put it up there where you can see. I've only done about 6 leaves, but I think that you'll be able to see there that it lightens it, but still has a little more intense color. So that's something we do a lot of times with our blends, is combine colors. And I think that's a nice one for spring. So that was one possibility. Now, for me, the best possibilities we have here are these rainbow backed adhesives, dots, because there are so many nice choices of light colors to put on here. But I also really enjoy these guys, which are a SaleABration choice, the opaque faceted dots. And they are in the pecan pie as well. So that would look so pretty on here at your corners, or in your, you know, in a line of 2 or 3 or 4, whatever, around the top or the bottom, one of the corners. So that's a possibility. And you could do your little happy birthday here. You could do it like this. And then we've got our other guys here, just recapping what we've done tonight. This one where you color around it with your Stampin' blends in in a skylight color. You wouldn't necessarily have to use Pool Party. You could have used our Balmy Blue, the lightest Balmy Blue. I think the boho is still a little too dark of a blue. And this is a nice monochrome with a Designer Series paper on the back. Then this one is a stamp off, kind of just barely visible, and then mounted on a white thick card base. This one's another monochrome with our soft seafoam, and then another possibility there. And then this one was how I originally did it, and then this nice soft one here I used with a different marker to stamp. So you can see the difference in the way that it ends up looking when you've done just stamped this in the petal pink versus marker to stamp on either one. Not that one, hold on, just kidding. There we are, on either one of these, just to kind of, a lot of different places are focused upon, like when you have your marker to stamp and different spots are highlighted. I appreciate you all watching, and I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.